Look, I really want to share with you some good news. The left in America is losing. There's a political awakening happening in this country, and it's being led by young free thinkers like me and you. They can lie about Russia, they can push impeachment, but they know that we are winning and 2016 was only the beginning. Before I get started, let's hear it for Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. The work that they're doing in this fight for freedom is needed now more than ever. Today I want to talk about three things: failed leadership, why you should be a happy warrior, and your role in this fight for freedom. People often ask me how a young black man from Savannah, Georgia, like myself, became conservative. And I tell them that, look, I didn't have a Black Leadership Summit like you did to help open my eyes. But thankfully, I had books by great authors like Thomas Sowell and Larry Elder and Deneen Borelli. And I also had great mentors who challenged me to think for myself. And what I began to realize is that the left tells lies. You know, what I realized is that people like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton and Barack Obama, they're all race hustlers and victimhood vendors. You see, they called America racist. They called capitalism racist. These people even said that personal responsibility is racist. Hell, everything to them was racist. But the truth is that racism is nearly non-existent in America today. There's so little racism that people like Juicy Smollett have to stage hate crime. The truth is that the political left has a monopoly on bigotry in America. The Democratic Party is the party of the KKK. They are the party of lynching. They are the party of Jim Crow. The Democratic Party is the party of slavery. And now the party of slavery is the party of reparations for slavery. You see, they tell these lies because they think you're stupid. We all know that for nearly 200 years, the Democratic Party has presided over the destruction of black life in America. And the numbers don't lie. I mean, are we not supposed to add up all the many ways that leftist policies have left people like us in a worse state? Their constant support for Planned Parenthood has resulted in the destruction of millions of black life in America. Their leftist policies, for decades, they've tried to replace the natural role of the black two-parent household. Enough is enough. Today, our message to the race hustlers is this: you had your chance, you did not lead, and now we will. I have the pleasure to serve as the entertainment editor at Breitbart News. Thank you, God. You know, long before the social media movement exploded in America, our founder, Andrew Breitbart, used to hold up his phone at gatherings just like this one, and he'd encourage the people in the crowd to harness their power as citizen journalists. You see, the left is afraid of you because they know that you're dangerous, and so they try to silence you. But you're powerful because you're vocal. And trust me, I know the price that you pay for being a young black freedom fighter. A decade ago, I heard Andrew Breitbart encouraging young freedom fighters that look just like you to be happy warriors. See, I was in college at the time, and I had chosen to reject the left's silly expectations for how I should think as a young black man. My college campus then looked like far too many of your college campuses look today. Islands of closed-mindedness, where young people are not encouraged to think critically, but are instead programmed to be skeptical of those who do. You see, the left is afraid of you And so your presence here today means that you chose to live free. You chose to see yourselves as individuals. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with rejecting the crazy, condescending crap from liberal, woke, white elites who tell you how you should think and how you should vote. You see, the left wants us to be silenced on social media and on your campuses. But we have news for them today. We won't be silenced and we won't back down. So in closing, I'll give you 3 suggestions of how your place in all of this and where that is and how you can help free more minds. The first thing is this: love and support each other's journeys. Have each other's backs. Connect with each other on social media and root each other on. And remember that as young leaders, it's your responsibility to help illuminate the path forward. The second thing is know the facts. I will plug again my publication, Breitbart News, but I encourage you to read conservative news outlets. Arm yourself with the informational weapons that you will need to win ideological battles on your campus. And the third thing is this: have fun. Be happy warriors. Take it from me, there's nothing that pisses off the left more than a joyful black conservative. And always remember the lesson that history taught us long ago: evil wins when good people remain silent. So no matter what, stand tall, be proud, and trust in God, and live free. Thank you, and God bless.
I just heard your opinion on abortion. I haven't really formed an opinion yet, but I want to know what's your opinion on abortions for like victims of like sexual assault and like incest and stuff like that.
Sure. We're only talking about less than 0.0%, 1% of pregnancies that result from rape and sexual assault. The lion's share of abortions in this country, unfortunately, come from black women, okay? Margaret Sanger founded the organization that went on to become Planned Parenthood. That woman wrote about the eradication of black life in America, and because of Planned Parenthood, because of leftist Hollywood and Democrats, her legacy is coming true. Black pregnant age women, childbearing age women from 15 to 44 account for 35% of the abortions in this country. That is Margaret Sanger's legacy. The Democrats, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, they all praise this woman. They all align themselves with Planned Parenthood. And that is a talking point. That is a talking point that liberals throw out. What about rape and incest? What about that 4% of the population accounting for 35% of the abortions?
So I'm not saying you said this, but I'm sure a lot of people here agree with the term Democratic plantation.
Right.
So my question is, why is it that none of y'all ever talk about the Republican plantation? When we look at counties like Owsley County in Kentucky, it's 99% white, yet 95% of those people vote Republican. Why don't we talk about the Republican plantation? Yet those people are all failing in that county.
I guess I don't actually understand your question. Republican plantation? These people live in the county, but they vote Republican?
99% white, but 95% vote Republican. Is that victim mentality and Republican plantation?
No, I guess, you know, I'm unfamiliar with the county that you're talking about. But I guess my answer to you is those people have a right to support whatever party they want to support. I'm sorry,
Well, so do black Democrats. They have the right to vote Democrat. It doesn't mean they're on a Democratic plantation.
Okay. Black Lives Matter.
Where is Schumer? Where is Schumer? Now, Schumer was following Pelosi around all this time. But ever since this thing came out,
question.
is he on vacation?
Yeah.
Did he get sick?
Well-
or is he the whistleblower?
Well,
Where is Schumer?
that's a good question. Thankfully, I live in Florida, where we have senators who are not crazy like Chuck Schumer. But that is a very good question. Chuck Schumer has been absent. I would venture to say, Lord, please don't strike me down, but he might actually be the only sane senator in the Senate, the Democratic senator in the Senate, because he probably doesn't want his fingerprints on this impeachment thing. I mean, he won't have a problem getting reelected, but they've obviously shoved him in a bottomless pit somewhere. I don't know where. I don't know where Senator Schumer is.
Look. So my question is about PC culture.
Okay.
Right? Everybody in here, I assume, is against PC culture in theory.
Political correctness.
Right. Well, people, we say we're against it.
Right.
Well, the part of the reason I walk around like this is because I really do what I want.
Yeah.
And I'm making a statement. You feel me? But the thing is, I feel like liberals push PC culture to control and put fear in conservatives.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So what I think people don't realize is conservatives fall victim to PC culture just as much as anybody else. And my example is, a lot of people in here, if we all went out to eat, some people in here be like, I am not going out to eat with him. They are spitting in my food, they don't get attacked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but they claim we want freedom. And you see how the thing says free thinkers, right?
Yeah.
I think we need more free doers.
Sure. Yeah.
So my question is, do you think the left has won the culture war on the topic of PC, political correctness?
No. Well, yes. Yes and no.
Okay.
It's probably not the answer you want, but I think the left won the cultural war years ago, and now what we see them doing is walking around the battlefield picking off any survivor. This is Andrew Breitbart. It was true, everything that I said about him. This man lived fearlessly for freedom. Every day at Breitbart News, we are attacked as anti-Semitic, as racist, but I stand on this stage proudly because I'm representing some of the 100 of some of the most beautiful, hardworking people that of all ethnicities. And I would just encourage you to be like Kanye West. I mean, wear the hat proudly.
Period.
Yeah. Unconditionally. Look, there were 63 million people who voted in 2016. Don't tell CNN that because their heads will explode. But those 63 million people voted for Donald Trump. And they all put a raging middle finger up to the political left in this country. Feed on that energy. Post on social media. I'm serious. Build bonds and win. We are winning. I'm telling you. You won't get it from the fake news media. I wrote a book called 50 Things They Don't Want You to Know. I will actually be having a book signing at 5 o'clock out there. But I wrote the book because I realized that there was a web of lies being spun up. And webs have little holes. And my book fills these holes with truth. It's not the truth that you'll get from Democrats. It's certainly not the truth that you'll get from the mainstream media. The culture is so important. I see it every day. These Hollywood hypocrites, they are afraid of you. They're terrified of you. And I'll say it like this. I think the president's going to get 15 to 20% of the black vote because people are waking up and they're tired.
Thank you.
I got a timer down here.
Sorry, I lost my voice yesterday. But my question is about for liberals or I guess independents that are, I guess, undecided really in what news sources they want to look at.
Right.
I know you mentioned that people should really get into the conservative news outlets like Breitbart or
Sure.
I guess Daily Wire, things like that. What do you tell people when they're like, oh, that's not a accredited like source, or like news application to look at? Like, how do you turn someone off of the fake news and to come over to
Well-
like being open to what we have, I guess?
Well, I would just encourage them to download the app and just read the article. Oftentimes, people will tell you, well, that's fake news, or that's a racist outlet, or this or that. And then you ask them, well, have you actually read this site? And they say, well, no, I haven't, but. You stop them at the but. And you take their phone, if they're your friend, probably won't do this with strangers, but take their phone, download the app for them, and challenge. You have to hold their feet to the fire. Challenge them to actually read the news that they're calling fake and phony.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
Okay. Awesome.
Don't argue on social media with people like that, because that's just a waste of time. You gotta go face to face and win the ground game personally. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going? Riquet Caballero, Cuban American, and yes. Thank you. Yes, love Trump's posture on socialism and Cuba, etc.
Yeah.
Question: this is for when relating to Black Americans. Do you think liberals would back a reparations bill if it meant 100 years of no income tax or corporate tax for Black Americans?
Do I think liberals would back that bill? No. Look, the reparations argument is absolutely a joke. There are more people who immigrated to America 50 years after the Civil War essentially ended slavery than who had immigrated in the 300 years before that. Reparations is a wedge issue that Democrats know that they need to have out there beating the drum about it. You know why? Because they know they failed their constituents time and time again. They don't have solutions, they don't have answers, they don't have good policies. All they have is crap like reparations. And the irony is the Democratic Party is the party of slavery, and now they're the party of reparations for slavery. I mean, it's laughable, really.
Hello, my name
Hi.
My name is Tatiana Smith. I am a junior political science major at Norfolk State University.
Oh, God bless you.
The green and gold. I am from Alabama, and I just want to piggyback off of the one of the first questions about the Republican plantation. I think the question was, okay, if they're living in poverty, right, and they're mainly voting for Republicans, why are they still in poverty? And the next, into another question I have is, I'm from Alabama, and I'm from a rural area, and Alabama is majority Republican. So how do we, red states are more likely to be poor, blue states are more likely to have homelessness. How do we generate revenue in red states?
Sure. To your first question, and I think it probably ties in with both of your questions, poverty is a weird term, right? I grew up in a two-parent household, thankfully, and my parents instilled in me the value of hard work and the value of an education. Jerome talked about the cycle of poverty. It's only a cycle if you allow it to be. If you allow it to continue into that generation, those people living in poverty where you're from and the places that you're talking about, they have to be challenged. I would venture to say that their faith communities, the churches in those communities, have failed their flock. I would also venture to say that those people need to wake up and realize that the people that they continue to vote for aren't actually helping their place in life. I mean, if you continue to vote for people whose lives are getting better, but yours remains stagnant, you have to figure out the you problem in that. It doesn't matter. I'm not coming up here on this stage representing any party. I'm representing Breitbart News and my family and trying not to embarrass their good name. I'm telling you that at the end of the day, parties don't matter. It's the people that matter. You have to hold these people accountable. There's establishments on both sides. Breitbart News is anti-establishment. The people who don't care about making the lives better of their constituents, they are part of the establishment. You have to hold them accountable and call them out.